right. So it's time for an update, because there is obviously so much going on right now to address, and why it's happening. And the Pythagorean Illuminati have been, had the clearest worldview that there is. And through their Patreon, each week they write about what's going on, current events, how it's actually linked with past events, things that have happened in the past, and how it's a cycle, and how they've been around to see all of these rises and fall of the civilizations. The enlightened ones have been there. And that's why they're able to see what's going on so clearly right now. So I am writing each week for the Pythagorean Illuminati, and I wrote to them that last week, giving them, the 3 new books that I wrote, Grand Unified Theory of Everything, The Astral Magician, and Alpha and Omega, the 2 realms. And obviously I reveal everything that I've learned, all the secrets, all the mysteries. It's all in these books that I'm writing, and all of my source is the enlightened ones. So I'm working with them to get out the greatest actually truth that has been kept back from humanity, and that will liberate humanity once humanity wakes up. And that is what the Illuminati's mission is to wake humanity up and reinstill the divine spark within us. So, I was actually very kind of excited to see what the Illuminati were going to say this week about everything that's unfolding, especially between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Because, the Illuminati have even predicted what is going on right now, because they, when you get 2 pathological, malignant narcissists in positions of power, like this is what happens. And you get a power trip, and then you get seeing what's happening right now with Trump and Musk, because they're both billionaires that are power tripping, and they do not actually care about the people. If they did, this would not be happening. So the Illuminati write each week about what's happening, and they do compare it to Rome, because it's the same thing. And that's and the classes, the patrician, the plebeian, the rich, the poor, the optimists, the popular, like that's all actually modern day. We're in modern day Rome right now, and the people have to take back the power, and the people have been miseducated, misled, propaganda, mind control, misinformation, disinformation. That's what we've been up against, so people couldn't see what's going on. And now, with everything that's happening in the world, and especially in the U.S., the world's been awake, actually, and now the U.S. is starting to wake up, because people are starting to see that Trump's decisions are not in the actual benefit of the people of America, and they're to actually support money and the cronies that he has, and the other billionaires, because that's the system, the free market Zionist capitalist system that this world is ran on, that they will do anything to keep going predatorily. So, and no matter how they try to disguise it, it's a predatory system. And Even the MAGA people, that's what the Illuminati said this week, because Trump's doing so much crazy shit right now, and so much crazy shit's happening, that even the MAGA people are going to be against Trump, when it's all said and done. So this is what is unfolding right now, and I just had some notes made on what the Illuminati wrote about this week, which is the collapse of the old guard and the rise of the disruptors. So you can see the old guard is the rich, the powerful, the plutocrats. Because they say that America is a democracy, but it's actually a plutocracy. Ruled by the rich for the rich, not by the people for the people. Democracy has been completely corrupted, and they are still trying to sell it like the people actually have a decision in anything, which they don't. Through the manipulation media and all that stuff, they've been able to keep people in that facade. But that's actually what needs to happen, is democracy needs to not be supported anymore. So people just need to stop voting for democracy. Or when a meritocratic party is assembled, which that is what is assembling right now. I am definitely on the meritocracy party. And the actual main tenet for meritocracy is 100% inheritance tax, because that's how you take the money away from the elite, because they have the money, they have all the power. So implementation of a meritocracy and 100% inheritance tax would take all their money away and give it back to the Commonwealth. And then the meritocracy is actually ran by the best people that should be in the positions of power, not by people that are there by privilege, which is what we see nowadays. Which the people of the money get in the positions of power, and then you get a fucked up world from that. So what's happening right now. It's the end of the Western Empire. The inevitable collapse of the Western Empire seems increasingly clear. The old systems, political, economic, and social, are no longer fit to deal with the challenges of the modern world. The inability of Western elites to adapt and address the most pressing issues facing society, climate change, inequality, economic stagnation, marks the decline of the old order. So this has been prophesied and everything like that, and actually we should be celebrating. Everybody right now, instead of being afraid, instead of being mad that everybody's fighting, the Democrats, the Republicans, the Christians, atheists, everybody's fighting, everybody's at total odds, complete separation, complete division right now. We actually should be celebrating, because this is the end of all of that. And what is it? The rise of the disruptors. What I'm saying? You get disruptor. Elon Musk is disrupting that shit up right now with what he just released. And it's definitely causing a little shockwave and stuff, even in the MAGA people, because people will defend what they believe until the end. They will do that. Even like with Christianity, they will defend what they believe in. Atheists will defend what they believe until the end. Scientific materialists will defend what they believe until the end. But the lucky thing is, it is the end, and people are going to see like the truth. And actually, illumination is that truth. The end of empires. Empires once powerful inevitably decline as they lose the ability to adapt and solve the challenges of their time. The rise of populist figures who often present themselves as anti-establishment disruptors is one sign of a civilization in crisis. They may challenge the old elite, but their rise often exacerbates existing tensions. We are witnessing the breakdown of established political systems, which, much like Rome's decline, can lead to a vacuum in leadership, one that often becomes filled with those most adept at exploiting this power vacuum. So, the thing with the challenges of our time and stuff, politically, economically, religiously, those are the challenges of our time. And right now, those are all at odds with each other. And the government is not doing anything to address any of that. It's only furthering the agenda of the old world order, which now is having a kickback. We're seeing the kickback from it. And the one thing that people are going to have to do is unite, and that's what the Illuminati our mission is. The Enlightened One's mission is to unite everybody underneath one common understanding. That is definitely illumination. That any soul has it in them to become God and has the divine spark in them. And this was like the Gnostic truth that the Templars knew about back in the day, that they got the Inquisition from them. Because they were pretending to be Catholics but they were actually Gnostics. And they were a continuation of a lineage of the alchemists, of the, Freemasons, Rosicrucians, all the secret societies that got corrupted because they didn't start out corrupted, but the darkness goes in and corrupts them because of, the wanting the power. But back to the time of Atlantis, and it's all connected. All this that's what is going on with the secret societies and the enlightened ones. But that's how they've been able to preserve all of this knowledge that I'm talking about through the ages, because they've seen the rise and fall of civilizations. And if people remember, especially being reincarnation, if you remember being reincarnated, you remember that you've lived like through these times before and seen this thing. So then the deja vu, your soul is like, oh damn, I have experienced all of this before, because you have. And so that's what I'm going through right now. And I am super emphatic and motivated to get this message out, because it is what the world is looking for. And I found that out in 2016 when I found the Illuminati. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Of everything. The Holy Grail, the grand unified theory of everything, the explaining of the mind-matter phenomenon, how mind makes matter, the two realms, how they interact, through Fourier mathematics, like everything is in there. So, and the elite actually, they know this truth, and this is what they keep from people. So, the rise of the leaders. Adrenaline junkie leaders. Figures like Trump, Musk, and others who feed off conflict, risk, and disruption can be compared to the adrenaline junkie soldiers of the SAS or the early Roman leaders. They thrive in high-stakes environments where their actions, regardless of their morality, can shift the political landscape. However, the systems they exploit are fragile, and their inability to resolve crises leads to deeper instability. So that's talking about adrenaline junkie leaders, and like Trump and Musk, they are thriving off of conflict, risk, disruption. That's what adrenaline junkies thrive off of. They need the adrenaline. They need a problem, a high risk thing to give them the adrenaline, and that's what they did. They compared them to the SAS soldiers, because I actually learned about that from the Illuminati today. They brought up how the SAS were created, and the SAS were created because they basically took all the people that didn't listen, in their military units, all the, people that didn't listen, the ones that, were just on their own program, and they put them all in a unit, and to handle the most dangerous things and stuff, and they were the ultimate adrenaline junkies, the SAS. So this is what our leaders are, and now we're seeing the fallout of all these two guys that are like, you got Musk having black eyes, you got Trump, now having to, explain the Epstein file. It's like it's getting nasty, and just like the Illuminati have said from the beginning, when Trump got in office, it would be a complete disaster, and it would be like the fall of the old world order, like the establishment, the hierarchy that slaves us. Because it is the Great Awakening. It's gonna definitely lead to the Great Awakening. So, social division and class struggle. Rome's class divide. Rome's division between the patricians, the elite, and the plebeians, common folk, is a timeless reflection of class struggle. The constant tension between these classes in Roman society, especially the conflict that arose during the conflict of the orders, mirrors the glowing divide in modern societies between the ultra-wealthy and the working class. The upper classes are increasingly disconnected from the needs of the people they govern, while the working class becomes more frustrated with their lack of representation and governance. This video should be viral right now, because but it's not viral because people don't have the attention span to actually that's why I'm on a campaign to put out YouTube videos, put out TikTok videos, little shorts, doing videos and stuff of the third way, of the Illuminati's secret religion of illumination, like presenting that to the world, because it is the answer, and people are looking for the answers right now. So that's definitely what I've committed my life to, is searching for the answers, getting them, and then giving them back to the world, which is part of the hero's journey. It's actually the last step. When you return to the world of common day with your reward, which for me it was definitely knowledge, the holy grail of the enlightened ones, being enlightened, like my soul, like the reclamation of my soul. That is the ultimate prize, is your soul. And I know that I have done that, so that is liberating. And now I'm helping guide other people to liberate their souls. And part of understanding that is that reality is not physical, and that the physical realm is just a realm in time and space, a dimensional realm in time and space. But where our souls exist is actually in a realm outside of time and space that's dimensionless and non-extended. So it is another realm that we exist in. That's what we experience when we go to sleep, in our dreams. Our dreams are the real world. So the elite know that about Omega world and Alpha world. But I'm talking about politics right now, not metaphysics. So, the class, the elite, the patricians and plebeians, the patricians are the elite, plebeians are common folk. They, while the elite are, worrying about governance, the common folk are just trying to work away, slave away, for just a penny mincemeat to stay in a box, you know what I'm saying, and get the entertainment, get the bread and circuses and stuff, and have to work paycheck to paycheck, while the elite have everything and are taking more and more through their dynastic rule. So the elite are definitely it should fucking make you mad as shit. You should be mad at right now at what the shade that's been pulled over our eyes. Oh man. But that's actually what's happening, is that the shadow is awakening, and people have had enough, and this is gonna lead to the tipping point where the shadow awakens in America, and that's going to be the fall of actual globalization, the elites, reign, and we are going to see that. But then a phoenix will rise out of the ashes. So, modern parallels. The United States, often heralded as a model of democracy, increasingly reflects the Roman system of patron-client relationships, where the rich and powerful hold control over the masses. The comparison to Rome is apt, with the wealthy rather than the people influencing the decisions that affect everyone's lives. While democracy on paper promises equality, in practice it has become a system where political power and wealth are intertwined, leading to disenfranchisement among ordinary citizens. So you can just see it, whatever side you're on, political, either liberal, woke, MAGA, right, Christian nationalists, whether you're atheist, scientist, whatever you can see that this is not working. You know what I'm saying? And now you got Trump having to deploy the National Guard to keep control, in LA and stuff, and it's getting out of control. But that's the thing, is the elites always have thought is they have had things in control, but now obviously the tables have turned on that, and they don't have things under control, and it's actually just going to get more out of control. Because now it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds with the National Guard being deployed to LA. With Marines too. I heard that 700 Marines are getting, so I mean, they're bringing the Marines in. That's serious. That when they're bringing the Marines in. So the empire's decline and the end of the Western world. The crisis of the West. The West, much like the late Roman Empire, is facing an existential crisis. The political, economic, and social systems seem to be in decline. The failure of the elite to solve pressing issues, combined with increasing corruption and authoritarian tendencies, signals the approaching collapse of the current world order. So, what is happening is America has turned into like a nationalist country, which was similar to what Nazi Germany had going on, and now that because you got the Christian nationalist MAGA people that are behind Trump, that would they believe that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. They believe that God saved Donald Trump and would to save the world and stuff like that. But now, like, even it's just becoming more clear that he is not the best, definitely not the best person for the position, and that's the corruption. You know what I'm saying? That's happening. The authoritarian control what he's doing is similar to another person that was doing what he was doing back in his day. So I won't even say it, but that's what it is. It's becoming. No matter how the media wants to spin it, it's dictatorial, and the Illuminati have talked about that truth too, which is not a democracy at all. Because you're definitely not. If you're a dictator, you don't give a shit what the people think. You only care what's good for yourself, and that's why when I put myself in the position of president, I'm be like, I would, as a tribune of the people, because I came from the people. You know what I'm saying? I've gone through the struggle. I understand. So it wouldn't be even in my mind to think to not put the people first in what I was doing, and thinking about what would the people want from this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would think. That's empathy. So obviously none of that's happening. You know what I'm saying? With Donald Trump, he doesn't have empathy, true empathy. Even though they want to spin it, that's not what's going on. And I'm, oh man. So, and here's the truth: the rising East and the new order. As West flounders, new powers are emerging: China, Russia, and perhaps a resurgent Islamic world that are challenging the old order. These emerging powers may not follow the same path as Rome, but they represent a new world dynamic in which the West is no longer the dominant force. A shift is occurring, where the once unchallenged leadership of the Western world is crumbling under the weight of its own internal contradictions. So whether America likes it or not, the shift of power is happening. You know what I'm saying? To the Eastern, the Russia and China just have more power than the U.S. now. So we have to, we shouldn't be scared of. They don't have any reason to fucking attack us. So we don't have to worry about yeah, they have spies and stuff and all that stuff. But we're not going to get attacked. So that fear, you can get rid of that fear. But the power has shifted. But they just don't want people to know that. Which they are desperately, trying to keep. But once you just are good with what's happening, you can, chill with the force and let everything unfold the way it is, because this is a dialectical evolutionary unfoldment of the universe, which sees rise and falls, beginnings and collapses. But the collapse always leads to a new beginning, and the new beginning of this collapse is going to be meritocracy, illumination, and social and national capitalism. Cultural decay in the search for meaning. Bread and circuses. In ancient Rome, the elite kept the plebes distracted with free bread and circuses, entertainment that placated the masses while the political system rotted from within. Today, modern society's equivalent is the entertainment industry, social media, and consumerism, tools that distract people from the reality of their own exploitation and the decay of social and political institutions. So that's what the bread and circuses are doing now. They're keeping everybody at bay, from revolting and seeing what's going on, even though the revolt is happening. You know what I'm saying? It's going to spread. I lost my place. Yeah, so bread and circuses, it is, because we need entertainment and stuff to entertain the mind, and how I was able to escape that, how I was able to get out of the control of the demiurge, out of the mind control, was by years and years of meditation. Breaking, because, I don't need, the entertainment. It's nice to have it, but I don't need it. I can just sit here and think. But that's what they don't want, is people free thinking and stuff, and that's what the bread and circus has done. The American Idol, the X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, all the UFC, all of the fucking football, all of that is bread and circuses, and it's made to keep you from knowing what's going on. So they had it in Rome, you know what I'm saying, too. And, it's all for people to not realize their own exploitation and decay of social and political institutions. So socially, we're collapsing. Politically, we're collapsing. But even the bread and circuses aren't going to be able, because even the food that they're poisoning us with the bread and circuses. You know what I'm saying? With the junk TV, junk everything, junk food, it's the whole reality is based on controlling us, and it's actually not the real reality that should be, and we're waking up from this. In the show Black Mirror, they had one show where this guy, he lived in a box. And there's like little TV screens around in his whole box. His box was surrounded by a TV screen. But he went to out of his box to work to ride this treadmill, every day, and then just be watching these things on TV while he's riding the treadmill and working his ass off to get these little credits and stuff that he would spend when he went back to go to his box to watch this TV. And it was just exactly what's happening now. But that was Black Mirror. The whole thing that he does do is he does get on the little X Factor TV show that they had, and by giving his life savings credits away, and then he fucking literally, to the judges, he just tells everybody off about the whole system and how everything's fucked. And he gets to his moment to be able to tell the truth to the world. So this is what's happening, and the final collapse and birth of a new order. Rome's collapse was inevitable due to the decay of its internal systems, the failure of leadership, and the erosion of its military prowess. The Western world today seems to be following a similar trajectory. However, from the ruins of the old empire, new structures will emerge. The future is uncertain, but the historical forces that shape these shifts are undeniable. As one order falls, another will rise to take its place. But it's unclear whether it will be better or worse. And that is what we decide. And it is going to be better. Because meritocracy, illumination, and social national capitalism is the way of the future. Is the Star Trek future that we've been waiting for. And we need to unite around a meritocratic future. And a meritocracy party being what beats out the Republicans and the Democrats. So, what's coming next? The collapse of the current empire will bring about significant global challenges. Economic systems will be tested, geopolitical power will shift, and new forms of governance may emerge. However, this transition will be difficult, filled with conflict and uncertainty. Those in power will fight to maintain control, but the more they push, the more the system will crack. Ultimately, history's inevitable forces may bring about a radically different world order, one that either builds on lessons of the past or repeats its mistakes. And it's time to build on the lessons of the past, not repeat the mistakes, not go in the cycle again, not allow a very few people get everything, hold all the power, and keep everybody else as slaves, which is what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for billionaires or trillionaires. That's what a meritocracy deals away with. And it makes sure that everybody starts at an equal place. You know what I'm saying? We all start at the beginning of the race. And then through merit, you know what I'm saying, you get rewarded. So, just one more thing, the decline of narcissist leadership and its impact on the system. Narcissistic leadership. Donald Trump is a narcissist. No matter how they paint it, no matter how the Christian nationalists want to be like, he is the chosen one of God that is here to save the world. Like, you have to be able to see through stuff and then actually gather information from the world around you to be able to see clairvoyantly and have the veil taken off your eyes. Because Donald Trump is a narcissist, and he's a billionaire narcissist. So we just all need to come to terms with that. And so are people like Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin. You know what I'm saying? They are malignant. Narcissism is what runs them. People in power, they just want more. So it's time to wake up from this. Trump's inevitable fall. Trump's behavior has been unpredictable but remarkably consistent with narcissistic tendencies. His desperation for validation and attention dictates his actions, which are becoming increasingly erratic. As his term or influence progresses, we're likely to see more extreme actions, as we did in the late stages of Hitler's reign. His inevitable estrangement for key political allies, supporters, and even members of his own party is predictable. As his behavior alienates those around him, narcissistic leadership often fail to gauge the long-term consequences of their actions, isolating themselves from allies and leading to a chaotic downfall. So that's pretty much happening. Trump is, he's cutting ties with all of our allies, you know what I'm saying, NATO, getting out of that. He's, making enemies all around. Mexico's pissed because we call Gulf America and stuff. Canada's pissed because we're saying we want fucking Canada as the 51st state. Greenland's pissed. Everybody is fucking pissed off at the U.S. right now and at Trump. So it's like, is he doing the right thing? You know what I'm saying? So it's time and the MAGA people and his administration are going to be the last people, you know what I'm saying, that actually are awake to the truth. And they will go with the fight. And we're seeing that right now. So, yeah, that's basically what this whole week's article was about. Class struggles, the problem with the disconnect of the elite, how the elite are like disconnected from us, the people, the plebeians, the patricians, are disconnected from the plebeians. They don't understand our struggle. They only understand their struggle, which isn't fucking struggling. It's power, and it's just like it's time. It's time for. It's a power shift, and the people are going to regain power, and I'm definitely part of that rebellion and part of that movement, which is the Illuminati, and we have been responsible for the revolutions of the past. French Revolution, Russian Revolution, American Revolution. It's all in and it's all in Assassin's Creed. You know what I'm saying? That's disclosure. The enlightened ones are actually the ones responsible for the liberation of the people, for the knowledge, for the people having knowledge, not in control. That's what the battle's always been about. The two secret societies that are fighting over the liberation of humanity and its control. And that's the secret war. So, my mission is to get on everybody's podcast, talk about this, because no one is talking about the Illuminati and what the Illuminati know. No one, because no one has found it. There has been others, because the Illuminati have, put together a project where people that have found the Illuminati are now contributing by bringing their own projects to enlightening the world to illumination, which everybody's got their own project going on. And part of mine is, going on podcasts, writing my books. I just went on the Jeff Mara podcast, which, he is definitely a voice of disclosure. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and to the people of that podcast that came to watch this, I appreciate your support, because this is just all about our liberation. And I am a super soldier. I was in the secret space program for the elites. I have all my memories. I know about all their secrets, and now it is my mission. Definitely, Tom Cruise has got nothing on me, because this mission is way more possible than anything that he could go on. But actually, my mission is mission inevitable, not mission impossible. And actually, hell, that's the movie of my life. It's called Mission Inevitable. Mic drop. All right, so I'm gonna end, my talking now, and then just watch this unfoldment of history, and not be in fear, be in balance, be in stillness, be in peace as everything collapses around you, because that's what I know I was trained for. Definitely being an agent of the Force, which does exist, which is real, and it is the movement of nature. It is ontological mathematics, and I am a Jedi. And the meritocratic republic, the republic will be restored, and the empire will fall. Until next time.